was hosting family-friendly events, and it was right at the start of the pandemic when everything just came to a halt.
Mhm.
I was trying to decide what my future would look like because that existing business was created so that I could be around my children more.
Mm.
So COVID had shooken everything up, and I had just prayed upon it and meditated and thought, well, there's got to be a way that I could still be with my children and still empower them and give them the tools and the life skills that I would have loved to have had as a child. And so that got me thinking about homeschooling them.
Mm.
At that time, a lot of people were still in lockdown or still, freshly coming out of the lockdown. And so it felt to me like a really good time to birth this program
Yeah.
and get people outside in nature and get the kids outside. And it's just so healing in itself. And so that's how it started, is just as a basic little nature school gathering.
And did you also considered before COVID already to homeschool your kids if it would come,
Yes,
to that
yes,
point?
for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
My mom was a public school teacher, and so
Okay.
I saw the good, the bad, and the ugly from
Yeah.
that experience. And having a brother that was on the spectrum and seeing just how the system failed him,
Hmm.
it really made me think twice about sending my children off to school,
Okay.
and made me want to take control,
Yeah.
and really just teach them by their interests, by their passions, and be able to teach what I know and share my own knowledge and not really have to rely on a system
Yeah.
that, in my opinion, is broken.
Yeah. So why nothing better than creating your own?
Hmm.
Yes. So Indie Soul is running now since 2019,
2021.
2021. Okay.
So the event planning started around 2019, and the pivot to homeschool enrichment was
Okay.
2021.
Okay.
So
So
five
Indie,
years
yeah.
this month.
So, oh, amazing. So
Yeah.
Indie Soul actually started, the name was connected first to the events.
Mhm.
Okay.
The name before, we were hosting a pop-up play date, and
Okay.
that's basically what it was. It was just a play date that
Yeah.
we would pop up at different venues, and we would showcase different mom-owned businesses and family, businesses catered to families. And it was great. It was an amazing experience, but it had to come to a halt, unfortunately,
Mm.
when COVID hit. And so then I just decided, look, I still love this community. I love creating events, which I still do. And we just did one today. And
Yeah.
it's been great to have that still interwoven into Indie Soul.
Yeah.
But the name did change. And the name actually came about as a group decision. So it
Mhm.
was something that our community, our founders, helped me create.
Wow.
So indie is just significant of having, independence and autonomy and choosing what's right for you and
Mm.
what you want your children to learn and what their interests are, and not being tied down to, shackled to a curriculum or to, um, something that maybe doesn't align with your family's
Yeah.
values.
Yeah. Would you
Um,
say that one of the special things about Indie Soul is that there are these monthly events, which
mhm.
perhaps other homeschool programs don't have that?
Yes, I think
Okay.
it's really what sets us apart. And they're different. Like
Mm.
today we did salsa with you, and you're an amazing teacher, and we feel so grateful to have you. And it's always with the intention of bringing people together.
Mhm.
And also, sometimes we'll do things where we are learning at these events. Like the kids can do these kidpreneur
Mhm.
events, and they're getting these economical life skills organically around their community. They feel supported, they feel held, and we have their performances where they work towards these musical performances and theatrical, and so they get to showcase what they're learning. And so every bit of indie soul is very much rooted in intention and just building community
Yeah.
and having
Wonderful.
experiences, because not everyone has these experiences in their worlds. And so if we can curate them and continue them, then they will also continue these with their children, and it's like a generational movement of sorts that I
Mm.
want to create, is to just connect, always take time. If life is busy, if things are moving at warp speed, like slow down, make time to connect, even if it's once a month, and just get to like know each other
Hmm.
better and be supportive.
Yeah, wonderful.
It's a ripple effect. Yeah.
It's a ripple effect. I believe what everyone is really interested about is how does Indie Soul approaches learning differently. There's so much out there. Think Montessori, Waldorf, regular public schooling, other homeschool programs. How does it work for Indie Soul?
So, for starters, we're mixed age, which I think is setting us apart in itself.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Montessori style schools are more mixed age, but we don't conform. So, we like to have the fluidity of choosing what works best for our students. We do thematic project based learning primarily. So, that means each 12 weeks we'll have a theme, and it makes it really fun and exciting and engaging. And the kids can build upon what they're learning each week. But then we also bring in the mixed age. We do some Waldorf like handcrafting and very much imaginary play, storytelling. And so for us, we are closest to an unschooling
Okay.
methodology, I would say, but we do have a theme we follow. We do have, curriculum that we will weave in, but at the end of the day, we're rooted in the children's interests.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say we are closely aligned with unschooling, but we do blend multiple different facets. And that's really what sets us apart. And so we really are creating our own entity in itself, which I think is indie education. It's like this new thing, and I've been seeing it pop up, ironically,
Mm-hmm.
on social media, especially. And I'm like, oh wow, that really does sound like what we're creating
Yeah.
is indie education. It is just individualized. It's independent. We're raising critical thinkers. We're giving them a platform to really show us what their interests are,
Mm-hmm.
so that we can curate curriculum based on that.
Yeah, yeah. Is that an enrichment program on the side of their homeschool curriculum that they have where they do learn their math and their reading and writing?
So we really cater to everyone, which
Okay.
is really cool because we have families that are unschoolers, for
Okay.
example, and they come here because they feel that their child can thrive. They won't feel pressured. They won't feel conformed. But then we also have parents that are more academically,
Mm-hmm.
aligned with what they're wanting to teach their children. So they come here for the enrichment, right? They come to supplement things that maybe they don't want to teach them. Maybe they have more structure at home and they come here and they can be themselves and they can be free spirited, but thrive in a community.
Mm-hmm.
And still they're learning. They're learning every day. Um, the newest addition is that we are, as the children are getting older, we're adding more older aged classes. So we are dipping into more curriculum. And
Mm-hmm.
so we have days where like they will get the reading and the math. Other days we'll do more science and more cooking and arts
Mm-hmm.
projects. And so it's all kind of interwoven where you can choose what works best. We're also adding an after school enrichment program because we've had such good feedback, and
Mm-hmm.
the parents are just like, why doesn't this exist for our kids? Like we have, the Boys and Girls Club, or we have the YMCA, and that's great, but this is so much more of like a community feel,
Yeah.
and you just don't get that. It's more of a village
Yes.
really in itself, and having that consistency, like having the kids, further deepen their own friendships and relationships is what we're really trying to create.
Yeah.
So it's more of an ecosystem than
Okay.
a school, I would
Yeah.
say, um, because there are so many layers to it. It's
Yeah.
not just an enrichment program. It's not just the forest school. It's not just a campus. We've got a pod for people that want more hyper focused academics. We've got electives. We've got the forest school where
Mm.
it is more child led and more experience based. Now, this after school program, these events where they can work on their economic
Yeah.
skills and their people skills and their social emotional skills. Like I said, the theater, the band performances, like it's all just its own thing. It's
Yeah.
it's more of an ecosystem is the best word
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
come up
Yeah.
with. I don't want to
So
be just conform to one thing. I want it to be a living, breathing thing that's
yes.
growing and rippling out and healing
Mm-hmm.
generations to
Yes.
come.
Sounds like there's a big variety. Now, looking at the logistics for parents who are wondering, can I get my child 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days going to school? What are the options?
So you can come anytime. You can do one day. I mean, we do have the 4-hour block, which is 9:45 to 1:45, and that's pretty
Yeah.
consistent throughout all the programs. But you can add like an extra hour if you want to learn Spanish.
Okay.
You can add an extra hour if you want to be in the band on a
Hmm.
different day. Like I said, we're going to be doing more of the after school classes where if they want to do a longer span, they can do more
What is the time
projects.
frame for after school
So
that you
it'll be
offer?
from 3 to 6 p.m.
Okay.
It'll still be the 45-minute lessons, but
Hmm.
then 15 minutes of recess because I think that's important. They need to
Yes.
have that time to just recalibrate and
Hmm.
feel like they can, settle into the next subject. I don't feel like it's good to have a bell
No,
schedule. It's
back to
one thing
back
to the
rush.
next. And I just don't think that's healthy. That's
No.
not how we operate. We don't jump around. And so
No.
why treat our kids this way? Like
Hmm.
they're not factory workers,
No.
And so
Beautiful.
it's really a space where we can just welcome everyone and make them feel like they can own their own learning. They can take breaks. If they're not feeling it today, go take a break in the calming corner. Or, in public school, they have IEPs.
Hmm.
And so that's something that you work so hard to get. And there's all these things that you jump through these hoops and you have to have all these meetings, and it's like, why can't every kid have an IEP?
Hmm.
At indie school, we all have IEPs. If
Yes.
a kid's having a rough day, they don't have to do this. They
Yeah.
can do something else. They want to go draw. That's
Yeah.
their time. They need to listen to their inner
Yeah.
soul. Like, what is it needing that day?
Yeah.
And so I think that's really why people keep coming back, why people rave about it. It's just so inclusive, it's so accommodating,
And
and it just
nurturing to the
works.
individual,
It's nurturing.
whether they're 4 years old or
Or
like us,
14.
14
Or
or 40.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's honoring what they need. Something very important is the neurodivergent children.
Mhm.
So many families they struggle to find environments where their child can thrive. And how does Indie Soul support these different learning styles that you come across specifically for these children?
I think just having this independent based learning structure
Hmm.
is imperative for these children because so often they're put in a box. They're expected to perform a certain way. They're expected to be a certain way. They're expected to have the social skills that everyone else has. And they're trying to shift them into the mainstream without the tools.
Hmm.
So, yes, it's great if they have an aid, and we welcome aids if it's
Hmm.
needed, but most of the time they're able to acclimate on their own terms, and they will tell you if they need breaks, or you will spot the signs of, oh, this child's getting overstimulated. Let's take a little breather. Let's go to the calming corner. Let's, go draw for a few minutes and recalibrate. They're not punished. They're not, called out. They're just shifted.
Hmm.
And sometimes all they need is 5 minutes, and then they can come back.
Hmm.
I also think it's really important to have the mixed age because some of these students that are neurodivergent can be leaders to younger children.
Hmm.
And so when you position them in a space where they have to be with their peers constantly, they're always going to be inferior. They're
Hmm.
always going to feel like they're not as good. But when you shift the dynamic slightly and you have a younger child in their class, and maybe they are struggling with writing or something, you can have this child that maybe isn't ready to be in their peer grouping, but can be more of a support system for the
Hmm.
younger one. And it is so empowering. And I've seen them just become, so much more confident and secure with themselves.
Hmm.
And it really lays the pathwork of them finding their own identity and figuring out how they are going to navigate the real world someday. Like
Yeah.
we should be giving them the foundation, not constantly trying to push them to be something that they're not.
Hmm.
Um, and for that reason, like, we have so many families that just love what we're doing, and
Yeah.
their children feel welcomed, they feel happy, they feel safe,
Hmm.
you know? Um,
I have a question about something that you mentioned earlier, how it's very important to look at the needs of that individual child, what
mhm.
their interests, their needs, their own boundaries, how they feel that day, etc. But how do you still navigate giving them some structure, their brains, their skill set is not fully developed yet? How do you go about that?
So we always have a structure. We always have the consistency. The lessons are 45 minutes. If I notice that a child is becoming, for example, disruptive,
Yeah.
I will take them aside and say, look, if you want to be in this class, like we really got to be focused. And if you feel like it's too difficult, we can shift you to a different group.
Hmm.
And usually that alone in itself will
Giving them
give
options.
them,
Yeah.
like, they have the power, they have the decision.
Hmm.
They either want to be with their friends and they want to try to do what we're doing, or they will tell me, I don't like this. I don't like what we're doing.
Hmm.
Okay. So then maybe we talk to your mom and we find something that maybe is more
Yeah.
suited. Maybe you do that work at home. I mean, that's
Hmm.
the beauty of homeschooling. Maybe you do that at home with your mom and you can switch to a day that we're doing more science or
Yeah.
something more hands on. But I like to give them a voice
Yeah.
because I feel like if we're always telling a child what they can and cannot do, how are they going to be able to find themselves?
Hmm.
How are they going to know what their interests are when they're a teenager, when they're in their 20s? Like, I feel like this is a bigger mission than just the school, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
It's more about switching up the generational patterns that we've all just been programmed to
Hmm.
believe as children. Like, we were always to raise our hand and only speak when we were spoken to. And,
Yeah.
we didn't really know ourselves. Like, you go to school, you're taught something, you're programmed a certain way, and then you turn 18 and then you're like, what do I do with myself? I don't even know myself. I need to
No.
go travel the world and figure out
Yeah.
what I need to make me happy.
Mm.
They go to college and then they master a degree and then they decide, oh, this isn't even what I wanted to
Yeah.
do. I just
Lost time and money
I
there.
just was following what I
Yeah.
thought I was supposed to be doing because
Yeah.
I was getting A's in this, or
Yeah.
it came easy to me, but it wasn't what lit me up.
Yeah.
So I think laying the groundwork, giving the kids a voice early on is so important.
Yeah.
It it gives them the chance to really sit with themselves and say, question, why? Why am I disruptive?
Hmm.
Instead of punishing, and putting them in this category where they are the troublemaker, let's see what it is that's bothering them, that's creating them to behave this way.
Yeah.
There's always a reason.
Yeah.
And if they trust you, they will tell you.
Yes. It sounds like there's more collaboration between the teacher and the child
It's
and
more, yeah,
the
it's more of
support
a
system at home.
relationship that you
Yeah.
can build, because when you're in a bigger size classroom and you've got, the teachers are great at public school and they're doing their best. And
Yeah.
like I said, my mom was one, but they don't have the support system that we
Yeah.
have, you know?
And how big are your pods and your classrooms? What is the max amount of children, let's say, with one teacher that you have?
So it depends on the age.
Okay.
At the forest classes, it's more of the younger age kids, I would say from 4 to 6. So the very like early elementary. And those groupings are 6-to-1 ratio. So we have 6 students to
Yeah.
one teacher. And that
Okay.
may be, supportive for having a teacher assistant or, a volunteer art teacher, someone that comes and they can be a support system. And that's worked really well. At the campus, as they get older, we do shift into more of like a 12-to-1.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, it would be more like, yeah, between 8 to 12 to 1,
Yeah.
because I'm also always there.
Yes.
Ironically, some people wonder, why are you always here? You
Yes.
should be doing all the back end work. I think you asked me that last week.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the support system. I'm
Get
like,
out.
I'm there to be more of a teacher assistant. So,
Yeah.
yes, we have, there will be 12 kids in a class, but then I'm floating between the
Yes.
2, 3 different classrooms, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah, makes
So,
sense.
there's not like a fine tuned number for the campus, but what we're doing is working. We're not going to have 24 kids to one teacher.
No.
That's for darn sure. And everyone feels supported. Like, the parents feel happy. They feel comfortable dropping off with the amount of people we
Yeah.
have, keeping eyes on the kids. And, a lot of our job is to just help them navigate little turmoils that
Mm-hmm.
they're experiencing. And so, but yeah, always checking in with them, always seeing, like, what is it? Like, we can shift curriculum, of course.
Yeah.
Let's get through what we're learning and let's try our best. But if you're really not enjoying what we're doing, I want to know.
Yeah.
I'm creating the curriculum. I'm doing this based on your guys' interests and needs, and I'm
Yes.
watching and seeing what's lighting you up. But if you're really not having a good time with it, we can pivot.
Yeah.
We can shift it slightly as long as you're still learning and
Yes.
growing. why not? Why do I have to be so hard-headed as a director and make
Yeah.
it so you're miserable?
Yeah.
And then you're making the teacher
Yeah.
miserable and then everyone around you is not learning. Like,
Yes.
let's figure this out together. This is about
Yeah.
relationship building. You're going to have to do this with your girlfriend someday,
Yeah.
your boyfriend, your mother-in-law, whoever it is. Like, let's give these kids the tools now,
Yes.
you know?
Wonderful. And of course, we like to know from you, what does the future look like for Indie Soul?
So we're just going to continue to grow and expand. And as the children age out of the elementary, we're going to continue to enrich them through middle school and then high
Mhm.
school, and just continue to empower them and find what their interests are and what they're wanting to learn. And I think a lot of these jobs that have these blue collar jobs, people say, are like now coming back. Like,
Mhm.
people are needing these roles to be filled. And so I feel that in future, those are some things that the kids would love to be learning with us, like how to fix a car, how to, do different things, maybe some more handworking, tool based skill sets, maybe cosmetology. I mean, there
Mhm.
could be so many different things that they're not normally getting. It could be more of a trade school per se, maybe throughout the high school years.
Yeah.
If people are wanting the academics, we will definitely assess, but it's just following the trajectory. It seems like these trades are really making a comeback, and I would
Mhm.
love to support the students in that way.
Beautiful.
And whatever, yeah, whatever their little hearts desire.